Well, I came here in 1991. I got my first cat in, I think, 1965 when I was a student at ISU. I bought an ocelot for no good reason. Actually, it was a schoolboy fantasy. I thought the neatest thing in the world would be to have a lotus I could drive very fast and a cheetah that would sit perfectly well behaved next to me. After the ocelot passed, I got a leopard that I lived with for 19 years. I mean, by lived with, I mean she had the run of the house. And after she died, I thought, well, now I can go on vacation, I can have furniture. And it didn't take too long before I realized that really wasn't what I wanted to do.
It's beautiful. They just recently got moved to where they lived out in the field area. And they just recently got moved to this pretty big enclosure.
Yeah, I don't think this is a meeting day. Sorry about that.
I found another leopard that was born 3 days after my first leopard had died. And when she was about 6 months old, I ran across a guy that had some tigers. He had 2 tigers that lived in the back of a Volkswagen van. The male was blind and crippled and most of his teeth were rotted out. The female was just hungry and bored. I took those tigers in and then came here looking for a place I could give them a home.
First thing in the morning, every morning, we're going around doing the walk around, making sure everybody is okay first thing. That's also when they get their medication, if anybody's on medication of any kind. We've got elderly animals that have arthritis, so we treat them for that. We've got some animals with stomach issues, so they get medication for that, or whatever they might need it for. They get it in the mornings as well as in the evenings, and then in the evenings we do another walk around, making sure they're getting their meds and make sure everybody is happy and healthy. If we see any problems, we'll make sure to communicate that with the rest of the keepers so everybody knows we've seen something. And then it depends on what the problem is, what we're going to do about it, or can we do something about it. Do we need to call the vet? Do we need to give it some time? We'll determine what it is, and then we'll try to help everybody from there. So as far as diet goes, all the big cats are obligate carnivores, so they eat nothing but raw meat. We try to vary what they get all the time. We feed a lot of, it's all raw, obviously, but we feed a lot of turkey. And then being in the middle of nowhere, we have an advantage of having local farmers. If they have a cow or a horse pass away on their property, they can bring it to us. We'll cut it up and feed it on out. So giving them some whole carcass feeding is really good for them. Bones and hide are good for their teeth and gums. But we don't always have enough of that in, so we try to vary it. Pretty much we try to give them turkey one day and then maybe red meat the next day, as long as we can. We have enough for that. That way they're not bored. Nobody wants to eat the same thing every single day of their lives. So we try to vary their diet up.
I came here with the initial 3 and hadn't been here very long before someone asked us to take in some other cats. And a bobcat came, and then some lions came, and then someone with the USDA asked us if we could take 10 circus tigers. And we did that, and then things just sort of snowballed for a while. At that point in time, there were a lot of people starting to breed big cats in private hands. And it got to the point where you could buy a lion or a tiger online for as little as $500.
Everybody has an enclosure that is unique to their needs. Lions and tigers, they're known to have more ground space. They're big animals that aren't really known for climbing and jumping. We do give them climbing towers so they can get up and have that advantage of being higher than everybody and looking around, having a better vantage point to see what's going on. Captive born and bred animals sometimes don't know what to do with a lot of space. We've actually taken in some animals that came from smaller enclosures, and when we put them in big, beautiful enclosures here, they didn't do well. We ended up moving them to a somewhat smaller enclosure, and you just saw their anxiety just kind of go away. They didn't know what to do with that space because they never had it before. Sometimes people come in here thinking it's really sad that these guys don't have what they would have in the wild, but we can't give them what they would have in the wild, and they don't know what that's like. We have taken animals from such tiny things and given them so much of a renewal for life that you see a lot of change in these guys.
Public support is what keeps all of our programs and all of the animals here alive. We think it's important that people be able to see these animals in a fairly up-close sort of way. I know other organizations that take in rescue cats will charge you hundreds of dollars to come see the cats. We charge $10 because it's important that people be able to see these animals. There's not going to be any effort made without people seeing them, without people becoming involved and thinking that it's important. So that's what I like to conclude with. Come see these animals, get a first-hand view, realize that you're important to their survival.